G'day members, Rick here with the ratings preview for Saturday tomorrow. It's been a long day today in the office. I'm just running a bit late, so plenty of form going on today. I can rest assured. Look, we're pretty confident tomorrow that Caulfield is going to be in the slow range. The past few times that they've raced there with a similar penetrometer, the track's raced slow. The last time it was a similar penetrometer was actually Caulfield Cup Day, when the track was officially rated good, but raced a lot slower than that. Read into that what you will. I'm going to release a preliminary set early in the morning, and we'll just monitor and adjust race by race as we go along. The last two races look very difficult. There'll probably be a fair few scratchings, so they're a bit all over the place at the moment, and I have to take off probably before race 7 or 8 tomorrow. I've got to go to a wedding. But let's get into it and get this out of the way. In race 1, we've got a race here for the fillies, and the key form reference here is the race from Geelong on the 29th of April that was won by Fast Approaching. It did pretty well. It led on a soft tempo and pulled away. Testability didn't really begin that well and was hunted up and was only beaten around half a length. It also got back on debut, so the odds probably say that it probably won't jump well again and will get back again. So they do look the main two here. The value is around Fast Approaching. They have to run the 1400 probably at a bit stronger tempo. They're the class runners. Then we've got Go Genio, who hasn't really come on like we thought she would come on, but she ran into a little bit of trouble last start and was 23 days between runs. She'd probably come on a little bit here, and She Can Shazam, who drops back also here from a mile back to 1400, and prior to her mile run, she was quite good in a decent race behind Mrs. President at Seymour on a slow track over 1400. So that's probably not a bad reference for her. But in all, it's a tricky race. Wait and see how we play it. On to race 2, and on top we've got Durandeel here. And I thought this horse won quite well last start. I've got him around 350. He's currently about around 380. Look, he got to the right part of the track last time, and he's going quite well. Illustrious Lad won well last start. He's a horse that looks a good improver. He's second on the speed there. And then we've got Manhattan Avenue, who resumes. Obviously quite strong form. Over a little bit further, but has got quite strong class figures, and I think that it'll go quite well. And down to Duke of Brunswick, who resumes. Took this horse a while to win its maiden, but it was a little bit luckless at a few runs. It had some issues, and it's a horse I've always sort of had a little bit of an opinion of, and I sort of think that he could probably just come out and put in a pretty big run. Second up last prep, beaten less than a length by High World. It sort of all reads pretty well. It's got the form around roundabout and whatnot, Making Mayhem. I really think this runner could come out and run quite well. But interesting that Mick Price has got 2 first uppers here. On to the next race, we'll pass. Onto the 1,000 metre race. Look, the figures here suggest that Consorting will be hard to beat. look, I'd be inclined to ignore its first up run. They rode it too aggressively out of the gates to try and get the fast lane at Flemington. The horse raced well above its standard for its early speed figures, and just couldn't find late. Back to Caulfield, round the bend, sting out of the track. It'll get back and be running on. It looks a real good bet. Looks a real nice bet. Playmaster's the other one. If you track its form back, it reads really well, and I think that $10, $11 looks good value. Angels Beach is going well. She's going to have to work over. She'll be the one they need to catch. She did race Consorting down the straight last prep, and Consorting sort of had her covered significantly. And although we don't generally pay a lot of attention to weight, when a horse beats one horse by a significant margin and then carries 7 kilos less, you sort of need to pay a little bit of attention to that. So, look, I think Angels Beach can certainly run well, but despite the fact the money's come for her, there's just a couple of others that just look a little bit better. On the race 5, and at this stage we've got, what have we got? We've got, it should be 4.6. Yeah, which makes that 5. We've got Miss Rose Delago on top here, the Perth horse at 460. I think she'll handle the wet. Fitness is the query. We've got Jessie Bell and Judicial Rock. Both were quite good last start. Look, I think that Judicial Rock can probably race a bit more forward than Jessie Bell, and Jessie Bell is probably going to have to go back from the wide gate. It's not really a good barrier for her tomorrow, and Judicial Rock does look to have, a good couple of lengths advantage from the draw, which I think can be significant considering their last section was identical first up. And then we've got Flash of Doubt, who does look to be pretty good value. Look, she's no star. She needs some favours, but I think from barrier 3, she can get the favours. She was caught 3 wide the trip first up. I thought she boxed on well. She goes well on the slow, and her last start on a slow track was here over 1200 in a Group 3. It was a couple of preps back, but it was behind Catkins. And I think that she can go quite well, and Nautical, who I think can run pretty well also. On the race 6, and we've got Red Bomber on top here. I thought his run was fantastic first up, and fantastic second up, went a big drifter. The horse has still got a fair bit to give, and I've got him pegged as a few lengths better on a wet track. So certainly I think that he'll improve again tomorrow and run to his peak speed figure of 125. Charmed Harmony's a horse that either wins by a comfortable margin or doesn't run well. You may have felt the track last start. Look, on his absolute best, he's right around the mark. Whereas if I give Red Bomber, he sort of, it doesn't work. I've punched in the figure, but he would shorten up significantly. I can't really get Charmed Harmony much shorter. So I think Red Bomber's the standout here. Look, I thought Hosting, look, he's a dog of a horse, but he probably should have finished closer. He got blocked just around the 200, and he was working to the line quite well. He's going to win one of these races. He's got the ability. He just needs to begin cleanly, and should he do that, he'll be right there. And Freshwater Storm was pretty good first up too. But I think Red Bomber's clearly the one they need to beat here, and I'm not too concerned about the weight. The horse has got the class and speed. On to race 7. Well, we need to do a bit more work here. This is a difficult race. Look, I think Second Bullet's going really well. His wet track form is a little bit inconclusive. I thought that Golden Mane, who was stuck on the wrong part of the track, can be a big improver here, 4th up. He maps pretty well, as does Falago, who comes off a Warrnambool run. If you track his form back, he's got a good run at Canterbury over 1900 behind Amanpour. That reads pretty well. And that's sort of where we're at. Hero Master can run well. I thought Kareeming, who's going well, might struggle a little bit on the wet, and Camp and the Waller runners have to be a chance also. But look, this is a hard race, and again, we'll tune this up a bit more after scratchings. Then we go down to race 8. Oh, what a hard race this is. I've got no doubt Fontaine Ruby's the best. In saying that, she does have to give away 5.5 kilos. Her win 2 back was through the roof, and all of the horses have come through that race and raced really flat. If she can sort of rebound to that level, it's going to be very hard to beat. She just has to, again, overcome the barrier. But on the soft tracks, she's shown that she flies through them. Spur on Gold rates well on the base figures, as does Sea Spray and Anaphora. So we'll just wait and see what happens there. And on to the last race. This is a dog's breakfast at this stage. Very difficult race. There's 1-2 lengths between basically the whole field on speed. And what that means is, if you give a horse a length and take one off another one, it just throws the figures right out. But we will endeavour to do what we can, and certainly the way that the pattern of the track is playing will certainly have a significant bearing on what way we go. So looks a good day. As we get to the later races, it looks quite hard. If I was going to have an early bet, which I'm not, I'll be waiting. But if I was going to, for the people that want to try and pick off a little bit of value, I'd suggest that Playmaster and Consorting might be worth a little nibble, half stakes. I'd suggest that Flash It Out might be worth a little bit of a nibble, around the $16 or $17, half stakes. And probably Red Bomber is probably worth a little bit of a nibble also. And that would be about it, because we do need to do a little bit more work, and that would only be half stakes bets. So if you're keen to have a bet early, that's what I'd do. However, I'm just going to sleep on it, and we'll see how it all looks tomorrow, the way the track plays. But that's all I've got for you at this stage, and we'll see you tomorrow on the live page. Thank you.